Hey everybody, welcome to the Sunfly Guy channel. Quick announcement here, you guys. Working on this based on some requests from some viewers. So without further ado, let's go over to activities here. And I've just worked through this. I think I've got it almost done here, so about ready to upload it. But if I go into custom content, let's see, here's Sunfly Guy's Idaho Backcountry Tour Day 1. So that's going to take you through, I'm going to do many of these, but to kind of recreate the trip that we took. This one is day 1, and it'll take you first 8 stops from Boise into Stanley. And I've kind of reworked it a little bit so that actually the routing is really cool. We're going to be in a de Havilland Beaver to start. So I'm going to pop this in here real quick, and you just kind of see it's going to be taken off from Boise, and it'll give you a little synopsis of the trip. Going from Idaho City to Smith Prairie, heading down the South Fork to Pine, then into Weatherby, Graham, Atlanta, Smiley Creek, and finally into Stanley. 171 miles, just under 2 hours of flying, 8 legs, and you can kind of see the different airports that we're going to be going to along the way. Blah, 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 blah. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm excited to release it. Flightsim.to is probably where I'm going to put it. So this is my gift to you guys, those that have asked for it. I hope you enjoy it. It's been really fun for me. Actually, a good learning process to make the bush trip too. And I might even do a video on that. There's actually some information out there about how you can create your own bush trips, which is really cool. So it did take some work, I got to be honest with you. A couple of components that you need, but it's doable for sure. You don't really honestly have to have a ton of skills. The tool is really helpful. You just need to kind of be methodical and kind of set some things up and do a little trial and error, but it's not that bad. So let's go ahead and I'll show you a couple of clips of the trip along the way and what I did while I was flying, and then hopefully this will be released and you guys can go pull it down for yourself, put it into your custom content, and enjoy flying through some of the backcountry strips as well. There we go. Give it a shot here. Okay, that's a good sign. We're at Boise Gowan Field, Boise, I should say. All right, and I'm gonna turn off that. I don't know why it started up with this, you guys, but what you'll want to do is turn that fuel boost pump off. You'll also want to give a twist on that thing to tighten up that oil filler cap. And then I think you want to make sure your mixture is set for altitude here. I got it. Yep. I'm going to put the parking brake on a second. This will be all the way up and we'll have it just sort of idling. Okay. I'm just going to do a preview, you guys, of this trip. Pull some flaps out here, get into the climb flaps. And we're rolling around, pulling our propeller back so we can keep our... about 2100s we're all flying this, and we'll just kind of keep an eye on the time, but we're going to roll out to the east. And you can kind of see on our trip here, we're a little bit north of our direct heading, but if I rolled a 094 here, we'll eventually be going right for Lucky Peak up in here somewhere, and we'll be following this river. So if you wanted to follow the Boise River, you could, and any time, really what I did is I tried to put waypoints in that generally allowed you to follow the terrain in the rivers here, not exactly. So I'll give you headings that'll go direct to the next waypoint, but you can meander back and forth through the canyons and along the rivers just to get to your destination. I mean, that's really what you'd be doing. I'm putting some waypoints in there, so you don't want to necessarily go direct and have to climb up over, terrain unnecessarily. So if you just kind of follow the logical path here of backcountry flying, I guess you don't have to go direct everywhere. In fact, you shouldn't go direct everywhere. So anyway, put in a few waypoints and try to give us a general sense of how to And I'm going to take this out now. Let's go take a look at our time, because I've got the We'll see if this is gonna 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Are we gonna be close to that? I don't know. We got about 2 more minutes to get to Lucky Peak, and you can see we're kind of heading there right now. There's user waypoint 1. I'll go and zoom in on it a second so you guys can see what we're talking about here. That's US user 01 is our first checkpoint there, and we're right on target to it basically. That's the Boise River there to our right wing, and straight ahead is the Lucky Peak Lake Reservoir. So we're just gonna be going. Let's see what our timing is right here. We're about ready to hit a reset. So we're a few seconds actually behind schedule. Nothing too bad. Reset that, start it, and now we're heading 054 to point number 2, which is Lucky Peak Reservoir Point. And 054, we're about heading it right now. So we're going to follow up this left side of the reservoir basically. So my manifold is like 22 and I've got about 21. Now I can, or we'll drop it actually a little bit less. So here's the, is this our point right here? This is the point where it bends to the left. Yeah, so 141, yeah. We see how that was 110. So we're just resetting, starting this. I'm just showing you guys the thing. You don't have to use that if you don't want to. I'm turning here, and on the other side of this, as the reservoir turns around here to the left, we will go over the bridge where the highway comes in. We were doing on time for that one. We were going to be at the bridge 141. We got 20 more seconds or so, and it's pretty close. We're kind of on track right now, so I like the times are not too far off apparently. There you go. That's crazy. Okay, so we did it, you guys. So that's what it looks like once you finish that one, and we're going to just continue on here into leg number 2 now. So there's a little bit of a logbook entry. What happened here? We had one takeoff and one landing daytime. It's great. And now it's time to go from Idaho City to Smith Prairie and get ready to depart here, runway 22. Out of Idaho City. Let's get going. Be really careful on the rudders here, and it can get pretty squirrely, these tail draggers, but if you're real gentle with the rudder controls, you should be good to go. Something I don't always do right, so it's easier said than done, but just try to be gentle. Sometimes you have to get on them a little bit more. Just so right here, I'm going to show you guys. I've got, see how we're up in the red over here. Takeoff, that's kind of okay, but as soon as I can, when I get off, I'm going to try to start pulling back a little bit on that, getting the RPMs down a little bit, just to the top of that green or blue or whatever that is. And then we're going to start rolling. I'm going to take off and start this. Oops. Ah, shoot. Pop that out. I didn't mean to do that. At any rate, 137 is what we're rolling to. You do have your GPS over there to kind of make sure you're generally heading in the right direction. Now that little bend right down there is what we're looking for. I want you to see this. That sort of square bend in the river there, that's the point we were flying over. That's our how we know we're in the right spot. I want to show you guys this something too. This is so a little nav map is what I used to plan this, but it's also connected, so you can kind of see right here. We're, a little off course, but we're close. And we're going to be looking for this intersection here. So this is kind of nice too. If you guys want to load up little nav map as sort of a on the side connector or something, it'll follow your course path and see how well you stayed on the general course that I laid out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so heading straight for that intersection right in front of us there, north-south road. Gear is always down in the Beaver, which is nice, right? So there's our intersection. I'm going to slowly turn around here, we're starting to get ready to head towards 060. I'll put some more flaps in. There's the runway right there, looking good. Oh, nice, okay. So it gave us another leg completed, perfect. Okay, that's great. So U98 to there, that took us 14 minutes or so, so let's continue. All right, now we're on to stop number 3. We're gonna go to Pine 1U9 and get rid of this map. We don't have to climb much here. We're just going across the prairie basically, and we're actually going to be heading Alright, we're going to go into, you can see our pink line there. We're going to need to turn left a little bit, so let's go ahead and do that. And as we do that, head out. I'm going to start pulling the RPMs back here into the green. So I am going to be kind of not getting too high here as we look out. It's kind of a cool prairie setting. See over there to the right, it's just a cool plateau. Very interesting landscape here. Ringed by mountains and a kind of a little canyon, like a little mini Grand Canyon down here. We're going to go down there and have some fun and play along the South Fork of the Boise River. Just always follow the river and you'll be fine. Now we are climbing up the river and we are going to be heading toward a dam on this river, so we're not going to dip down too low. It's not, I don't think it's we're going to reset it and then it's just a point where we turn and yeah, we're at it right now. So I'm going to go reset, start, and now we have to get up to the 2 minutes and 8 seconds or so is what they're saying. So something like that. Yeah, definitely looks like there might be some homesteads out around here. Not sure, but ranches or something. Well, at any rate, straight ahead of us, that's creating the Anderson Dam Reservoir. Cool. And we are going to reset. start our next leg, which is to the cove, 1 minute 49 seconds. So it's saying here, continue northeast until you reach a large arm out the left window that extends to the north. So we're going to go up this way. Really nice looking airport here. It's just such a cool spot. Not a lot out here, so maybe it's not too, well, but it's kind of a neat spot, I think. Okay, flaps are coming up. We're trying to kind of keep. Woo! Well, we did. Okay, our first one we're going to be doing, basically it's saying here to part 16, so this is only 16. We're going to do an immediate left turn out over the to the north, right? So left turn out over the water there. Flying skill toward the end of it. So, and some good decision making, I guess I'd say also. Got a little bit of a crosswind off the right, so I got a little bit of right aileron in, using rudders here, and yep, we're off. I'm gonna start pulling back just a little bit and starting here. Start, and like as mentioned, we'll make a quick, pretty good bank over here to the left, get turned around to the north. Start going up the river. The end of the reservoir here. There we go. Maybe there. Okay. Yeah, okay. So now we're turning left up and we're going to be heading up this way towards Featherville. Right? No, that was Featherville. No, that's Woodbury Bridge. Okay. Those tailings right there, that's interesting. So now, and we're gonna go just in that gap, right? So try to get over that and be kind of like straight ahead there, that little notch, the lower point. That's where we're trying to go through now, but yeah. And now we'll want to keep our airspeed under control when we start diving down too. We don't want to get going too fast because we're going to need to be, it's almost like we're coasting down a descent for landing, and it's a fairly steep descent on the other side, so cool. And I'm there we go, see the valley here, so we're going to go down this little valley. We're going to start descending. I'm pulling power back a little bit here to your speed, your descent, and look out the window, because this is going to guide you right down to the airstrip. Now at the bottom we're going to come out right at the right side of the airport, so we'll see the runway off to our left. If we decide to go straight into that like short final little base leg there and land, just know that that's going downhill, and you are gonna possibly, you should be prepared for a go around, right? So I'm coming down, it's getting steeper here, right? And we're kind of be always prepared. Pretty soon at the bottom here we're going to be staring at the end of our runway, and we're going to decide whether we're going to make a quick landing on it or not. Right, so as we come down here through the bobsled run, keeping the eye on the airspeed. Don't want to get too slow, but or too low. but we do want to, it's just directing us right down to the airport. And again, I'm going to put one more notch in here of flaps. Okay, the runway's down there. We got a little more zigzagging to do, but you can kind of see a little bit out there, the runway. I'm putting all flaps in here. I don't like it. I'm kind of blinded. I've gotten my airspeed as such that I'm not seeing a great angle out the window, but now we're okay. I'm popping up just a little bit, and you can kind of see the runway end right there. So all flaps, and I'm going to try to land this way, you guys, but you could easily land. I'm going to pop up over this. I'm getting kind of slow here, so this is going downhill. And I'm going to pull. Flaps are coming out right now. And I've got some braking happening here. Okay, I made that. Okay, guys, that's about as... It's not easy to do that without stalling. But again, if you wanted to make the landing easier, if you continue over this out into that valley, turn around and come in, you can land uphill, and that'll be a lot easier. It'll give you more time, make more of a straight-in landing. That was the fun way to do it. It's not the right way to do it, and definitely, you guys, this is just Sims fun. This is not go out and do this stuff in the real world. You know, you guys do your own research, obviously, but for fun in the sim, it can't be beat. Super fun. We're in Weatherby. Let's keep going. Swanholm Creek. So we're going to be departing here, going down the Middle Fork. This is the Middle Fork we're on right now. So as we dropped into this valley, that's what we dropped down into the Middle Fork of the Boise. All right, so we're going to have like a really short thing to Swanholm Creek. So we're going to take off, and then not too long after takeoff, at that sort of entrance of Swanholm Creek, which is going to be on our right, we're going to take a right and go head up Swanholm Creek, right? So we're going to be following like sort of like a canyon up that creek, and we're on our way to Graham U.S. Forest Service. So we're at Weatherby right now, and we're going to Graham. So let's translate that into this map here. Quick second. So first of all, you can kind of see what we did from Pine. We kind of came up, went through Featherville. You can kind of see how we're climbing around through this terrain valley, but then we kind of started a hard climb, and we got up to this gap. And that was the part, that little notch we had to get through. And then we started coming down this, and you can kind of see this terrain here. We just kind of came down, and it's basically hot creeks, little canyon, and we kind of winded our way down. We came out here, saw that, and we made an immediate landing on runway 21. Again, probably the more prudent thing to do. And if I were trying to make the easiest way in here, I probably would have planned this to come around, you know, maybe this way a little bit lower and come in from this way to land, you know, uphill. Would have been easier. But I mean, you can't deny that was pretty fun to come scooting down the bobsled run and land. And if you can keep your speed and all your energy managed just right coming down there and be set up, and you know, it's helpful to know what's coming. So practice makes perfect, I guess. Then you know, you might be able to do what we just did, which is pretty fun and pretty challenging. But it's yeah, it's the great thing about the sim. You can practice things, and you got the risk factor taken out, which is great.